is that he had translated the story and remarked that no other story portrays the character of the Sikh people and the madness of the partition with such poignancy. Our last session for the day is to do with Bollywood, journalism, and a man of eccentric taste, an old voice, a new book, a sneak peek. Now we have for you Bhaichand Patel in conversation with Bachi Kakaria. A correction, Bhaichand Patel in conversation with Gillian Tully.
Okay, guys, sit down. Did you see how difficult it was for me to climb up here? I'm 88, and I wrote a book. Give me a tally. Give me a big hand. Right. Bigger than that. Come on. 88. I'll be 88 tomorrow.
Where are you going to sit, Bhaichand?
I'm going to sit there.
Okay, fine.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Please sit down. This is the last session. We are privileged to have the last word in this session. I'm very happy to, or very proud to say that under the guidance of Rahul Singh, we started this about 10 years ago, a group of us, and it's gone from success to success. And I'm very proud of what Rahul has done and led this to this stage. Now, Gillian.
Right. It's lovely to be here at the last session of the Khushwant Singh Literary Festival here in Kasoli, and especially to launch Bhaichand's latest book, Across the River, a new novel. And as this is a festival dedicated to the memory of Khushwant Singh, it's very nice that we have someone to end the festival who knew Khushwant well. Bhaichand, how did you get to know Khushwant, and what impact did he have on you?
It goes back a long, long way. I think it was in 1969 when Khushwant came to Bombay. I was practicing lawyer. Khushwant took over the Illustrated Weekly of India, became an editor. The magazine had a few thousand readers. Khushwant took it to lakhs. He changed the whole Illustrated Weekly into a huge success. And I was privileged to write for him. Over the years, I've known him. I copied his style of writing. He was my mentor. He really was my mentor. He taught me how to write simple, short sentences. Don't take yourself too seriously, and just keep it straightforward, and you'll do well. That's what I learned from Khushwant. Then later on, I became his neighbor in Sujaan Singh Park. From last 20 years, I've been a neighbor until he died. And every evening, not every evening, whenever he had some interesting visitors, he'd invite me, V.S. Naipaul, or the latest Pakistan High Commissioner turning up in Delhi. He'd come say, come on, Bhaichand, come over and have a drink. And so we became friends, and I always looked up to him as my mentor as a writer. I'm not a professional writer. I am basically trained to be a barrister and a diplomat, but I enjoy writing, and Khushwant made me do that.
Now, your latest book, Across the River, is a book set in Delhi, and it's a very woman-centric book. All the really main impressive characters come from different walks of life, different castes, different religions, but they're women. This is a women-centric book. Why women?
Why women? I suppose I got influenced by Khushwant. Khushwant adored women. I do too, but Khushwant was on a different level. His best friends were not men, but were people like Kamna Prasad and Sadia Delvi and other women who used to turn up every evening uninvited or invited, and he had no problem with the women. Men had to be invited. Women can turn up there. And I think Mrs. Charanjit Singh, who was here earlier, she was one of his closest friends.
And at the beginning of the novel, you start with a moment of extreme happiness, and then you go to a moment of extreme tragedy. And the two women who start the book are both students who just passed their BAs. And you have to create characters who are 18, 19-year-old girls. Was that something difficult for you to get inside their heads, or?
Yeah, well, not really, I think. Really, I'll tell you the story briefly. It's about two women and a man. It's set in Old Delhi, and I know Old Delhi. I was a student in Delhi University. I think we must start there. I was a student in Delhi, not at Shriram, not at St. Stephen's, not at Hindu. I was in Bania College.
And what year was that, Bhaichand?
The year a long time ago. I was in Delhi University from 1956 to 1959. And my friends, most of them were Baniyas, Baniya families. And they all lived in Old Delhi. So I knew Old Delhi very well. New Delhi, I used to come to see the movies at Rivoli, Regal, Odeon and Plaza. But I used to see the Hindi movies at Moti, Majestic, even at West End, right at the end. My life in 1956 to 59 revolved more around Old Delhi than New Delhi. I loved Old Delhi, and most of my friends were from there. And so this book, which I've written across the river, is largely set in Old Delhi. It's a love story, but begins as a companionship between a Hindu girl and a Muslim girl. The Muslim girl has a name that could be mistaken for a Hindu name, and she applied for a job everywhere, wearing a hijab. She never got anywhere. So her Hindu friend told her to pretend that you are a Hindu. She said, I won't pretend. If they ask me, I'll say I'm a Muslim, but if they don't ask me, I'll go ahead with it. So she gets the job. She does brilliantly. She falls in love with the owner of the business that she joined was a bigot. He didn't like Muslims, and he wouldn't hire Muslims for one reason or other. But she proved herself well. The son of the owner fell in love with her, and then what happens, you have to read the book. I'm not going to tell you whether it ends in a tragedy or a happiness. You have to read the book. I enjoyed writing this book because I think I'm rather depressed from what's happening in this country. The Delhi I came to in 1956 was very different from the Delhi that is today, or India. Let's put it this way, very frankly. India is very different today than it was in 1956. Now people openly talk about their prejudices. You go to parties, you find politicians abusing Muslims publicly. It never happened in the old days. It is under Nehru, even until Manmohan Singh was there, people would not speak openly against the Muslims. Now they do. Now the government tells us what to eat, what not to eat. This is not right. And so I'm inspired by the situation in the country to write this book. It's a good read. I think it's a good book. I'll tell you what, I'll give you an offer. You buy the book. If you don't like it, I'll sign it for you, and I'll give a cell number. If you don't like it, just ring me up. Keep the book, and I'll return your money. I will.
I think I've never heard anyone suggest that in a literary festival before.
Why not? The point is, I'm 88. I don't need the bloody money. I earn enough in my time. I write for the pleasure of writing. And, what the hell, I spent a lot. One of the best things that happened in my life was that film star Rekha wanted to marry me. Yeah. Beena is not here. But Beena arranged our meeting in Niti Bagh in Delhi. She had just broken up from Amitabh Bachchan, and she was she was very depressed. And she asked around, and she heard of a guy called Bhaichand Patel with a nice cushy job in Delhi, and he's single. So she came to Delhi. She took one look at me. No, it won't happen. Okay. Yeah. But after that, it ended rather tragically. The man she married was the second choice. Anyway.
Was your relationship with Rekha one of the reasons you chose to write a book about Bollywood as well?
I've written a book. I've written many books, 4 or 5 books. You know, I tell you what, guys, I don't know what time what we did. I retired at 60. When I retired at 60, I said, I'm not going to play golf. I'm going to do something nice. I enjoy writing. I write every day about 250 words. Try to do. If I do less than 250 one day, I'll do more the next day. I write, and it gives me so much pleasure. I've written a book on cocktails. I've written a book on Bollywood, bestseller. I've written a book on lifestyle, where I wrote about my relationship with Rekha or non-relationship with Rekha. So it gives me pleasure to write, and I enjoy. I'm wonderfully. I have wonderful friends. Rahul, I live in a flat that's owned by Rahul. Sujan Singh Park is a great place to live in. I had a great life. I've traveled around the world. I'm from Fiji Islands. I forgot to tell you guys. I'm not an Indian at all. Even today, I carry a Fiji passport.
I have to say that I'm familiar with the literature in Fiji, written by people who originally came from here. Yeah. And I have held in my hand, if not read, the first ever Fijian novel written in Bhojpuri. But I think you're the only Fijian writer to come back to Delhi and write about India.
Yeah,
am I wrong?
Yeah. I came here as a student. I liked it. I stayed back. And the country sort of, disappointed me, I think, in a sense. It was a great country, 1915, for a long time. Only in recent years, it's gone the wrong way. And I'm sorry, but I have to say this. We'll get back. India is a very resilient country.
Is that the message of your book? In the end, after all the hypocrisy especially of the Banya, and all the prejudice and everything, is that the message of your book, that it will get back again on course?
Yes. We are decent people, Indians. I'm an ethnic Indian, so I can say this. We are decent people. We will not tolerate this nonsense of intolerance.
Right. I don't know how we're doing for time. I think we were given 15 minutes. We have 5 more minutes. Would anyone like to ask Bhaichand a question? In that 5, any questions for Bhaichand? Looks like not, Bhaichand.
All right.
So tell us more about your characters in the book.
I've lived in, I grew up in Fiji. At the age of 19, I left, came to Delhi, 3 years in Sri Ram College of Commerce. Sri Ram College of Commerce was really not a great college at that time. It was basically where accountants and bankers went to study. Everybody wanted, all the girls wanted boys from St. Stephen's and Hindu College. I had to come all the way to bloody Lady Hardinge College in Connaught Place to find a girlfriend. You know, we were looked down upon. But it was today it's one of the best colleges in the country. And from there I went to Bombay, studied law, went to London, further education in law, became a barrister, joined the United Nations. I have a wonderful pension, I must say. I got a great pension. And that's why I write for the pleasure of writing. The book sells, a book has to sell. Just writing a book doesn't sell is very disappointing. I wrote my book on cocktails was a huge success. My book on Bollywood went to 3, 4 prints. So it's a good way of living. Enjoy life. I believe in enjoying life. And I think I had a great life.
And I think you probably had a great time writing this book. And it is a great read. It's a lovely, easy read. and it's got lots of unexpected twists and turns. So, Bhaichand, I hope that people will buy the book, and I hope that nobody's going to return it.
Yeah. Before you get it.
And now we need to launch the book, I think.
We're going to launch the book. Mark Tully.
Mark, not yet.
Mark Tully is sitting there. Gillian and I are going to join him, and he's going to release the book.
We're going to have an official release. So conclude the festival.
The session is complete after the book is released.
Yeah. Would you like me to hold your hand, or are you okay? Can we bring Mark forward, please? There you are. Face the audience. And I think you're showing immense stamina to stay from the beginning to the end. And just wait for Bhaichand, who is in excellent form for 88. I think everybody will agree. Yeah, happy birthday this week.
The book is on sale in the bookshop.
There you are. You can hold it up. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
I've been asked to make this announcement again, that on popular demand, we are presenting a repeat show of Jashn-e-Kalam's storytelling performance of Khwaj Ahmad Abbas's Sardarji. The venue will be the Badminton Hall. Entry will be first come, first seating basis. Also, please switch off your mobile phones before you enter the venue. A fact and a connect to the Lit Fest is that Khushwant Singh translated the story and remarked that no other story portrays the character of the Sikh people and the madness of the partition with such poignancy. Now, I would like to request Nilofer Bilamoria to come up on stage or not, and Madhur Singh to deliver their vote of thanks and closing address. I request all volunteers from Shuluni to move up, please.
Okay, we have a wonderful performance ahead. So I promise you we're not going to